Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. And it is the Thursday afternoon live stream. I do at 3 o'clock. If you haven't been to this before, I do live streams on Monday night at 7 and Thursday afternoons at 3. And we try to focus on classic Mustangs, Camaros, Mopars, whatever, and try to talk about what's going on and things that may be giving us problems and ideas and how to fix things. So if you have a question, by all means, ask. But again, we focus on the classic cars, 60s and early 70s primarily. Occasionally we do get some others that come in, but that's fine. So hopefully we can have a good stream today. It looks like I already have several checking in on the side. And I will point out that when we do this, if somebody has a question, and somebody gives a good answer, they get a bell, whether it's me or somebody else, we get the bell. We don't have a bad sound effect for like wrong answers. Now, before I really get started, I know I have my normal kind of crew showing up here, and they help answer questions as well. I'm experimenting with a little light that I bought. So I don't know if I like it or not. I'm trying to see if this helps because I have another light that I use, and I don't know if it's better or worse. So what I want to do real quick, this is the current light. If I turn this little light off, that's what you end up with. On, off, on, off. Okay, this is the other light. Now, unfortunately, I have to stand up to turn that one on. Yeah, I don't have any way to, I don't know where it's even plugged in at. So I don't know if there's much of a difference, but I'm just trying to see what works. So there's the normal light that I use, and then this little light of mine. Anyway, just give me some feedback, because if I don't work, it doesn't work, I'll take this little light back and get my money back. So anyway, we have Greg checking in from Australia. Glad you're here. Dave Britton. Hey Barry, I'm usually busy this time of day. Hope all is well. Jack W checking in from New Jersey, and Dave checking in from New Jersey as well. Phil, MIM checking in from Northern California. Kenyon, good afternoon. Glad you're here. Randy, hey all, good to be here. Hope all is well with everyone. Yes, you know what? It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. I can tell you that right now. I'm amazed. The humidity's low. The temperature's super nice. A good day to be out and about doing things. Can you get that Wi-Fi router fixed from Monday night? I don't know. I was on the phone for about an hour with Comcast, and of course they said they fixed it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that this doesn't have any problems. Rusty, good afternoon. Rusty's Mustang Garage. Glad you're here. Crush Rider, good afternoon from Southern Indiana. Painted parts looking good. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Rick Stevenson, good afternoon, everybody. Phil, new light on. New light off. New light on. I don't know. I'm experimenting. Randy, normal light looks best from this view. I don't know which one is a normal light. This light that I was showing first was just one of those it's like a little donut LED looking thing, I don't know. Off, on. It might make more of a difference if it was at night, because I have the blinds open on the window that's in front of my desk here. So, and Arthur, hey guys, it's storming here. LOL. Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, the weather is fantastic. And that was part of the reason yesterday. Was it yesterday? What day is today? Today's Thursday. I guess it was yesterday that I sprayed these parts. And the weather I wanted to do it on Tuesday, but I realized I needed some more materials. So I had to drive to my PPG rep and get some more materials. And once I got back, it was too late in the day. So I decided to spray them yesterday. I guess, yeah, it had to be yesterday. I don't even know. Days just kind of blur together. I don't know what day it is. I mean, I'm lucky to know this is Thursday. So anyway, um, got the base on, and of course sprayed them with clear coat, and they are looking good. Uh, and I was trying to um, decide on how I wanted to proceed from here because there's not a lot of space in my paint area, or at least not the space that I want. Uh, the shop was 14 wide, 24 deep, and I painted the Mustangs. Now it switched to Wi-Fi on me. Why is it doing this? It's turned off. It's turned off. It's Wi-Fi. It's what the heck? Wi-Fi is turned off. I don't know. Probably not corrected. Yeah. And I was talking to Rick earlier. Maybe it's my actual. Maybe it's my Ethernet cable. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All right. Hold on. My wife told me that her iPad has a Wi-Fi password. I mean I don't get it. Let me see if I can do something different here. Okay, now it's switched. Now it's switched. I need to try to do something else while I'm in this area. Hold on. What a mess. Okay. So we're going to see if this works. I don't know. I think I've connected to her iPad as well. Cannot connect. Great. Okay. All right. Well, so we had Arthur saying it was storming. Phil says MIM, or well, that was my preference. I don't know which one the preference was. Dave Conville, this is like being the optometrist. Oh, what do they say? Is this one better or this one? Yeah. Kenyon, American Auto Wire VSS vehicle speed sensor. What is this? Where and what? Vehicle speed sensor? I'm not familiar with that. I mean, that sounds like an electric connection for your speedometer, though. Which kit did you order? It's probably the bigger question. I know I've used American Auto Wire before, and I'm not familiar with the VSS. So if anybody has any input for Kenyon on that, let them know. Randy, love the color. Looks fantastic. Thank you. Kenyon 1967 airline wiring rookie. Okay. Oops, typo. Okay. Rick, I hate to say audio is breaking up. Yeah. Problem is not corrected. Yep, breaking up, losing you. Good afternoon from Middle Tennessee, Jerry's Garage, the Money Pit, Rick Gain. I'm eating Oreos and talking about Mustangs. At the moment, life is good. Sorry, the network issues are continuing. I need to check my lotto ticket. Yeah, by all means. 6-7 Fairlane wiring stock gauges. So not airplane. Not 67 airplane. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the VSS is on those. All right. Greg's saying it's looking it's good. Dave's it's better now. Better. Okay. Nick, do you need to use 80 grit for bare metal, or will red Scotch-Brite or Rolox suffice before filler? I'm getting ready to do all of the filler work now that the cosmetic metal is done. You should not have to. I mean, you can if you want it to be a little more grippy, but I mean, I usually will scuff it regardless, just because that's how I am. And there's a couple ways to look at this. One, what I've done lately is I've gone to bare metal and I sprayed with epoxy, and then I started doing body work on top of the epoxy. And the Rage says you can go to bare metal or primers, stuff like that. So, if you're going to bare metal, that's fine. If you want to scuff it up, that's fine too. It's not going to hurt. It's going to just help it hang on a little bit better. But I haven't had any issues with being on, clean bare metal. So, Jessica, I walked in just time for spooky door sounds. Okay. Nick, my Contour SCT has a red Scotch-Brite wheel, is why I'm asking. And I already have all the prep done, wondering if I should DA with 80. I mean, you can. It's not going to hurt. Just make sure it's clean. If you go over everything with the 80 grit DA, fine. Just make sure it's clean. Don't have any dust in there at all. Just make sure that, it's clean. Arthur Berry, you sound like you're trying to sing ooh, ee, ah, ee, bing, bang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Guido, VSS is for AOD. So there you go. Kenyon, AOD. Jessica says AOD is a Ford transmission. Yes. Randy, VSS wire, all depends on what year, make, and model you're working on. 60s vehicles don't have, only newer. Good point. So there's some bells in there. Pick one. Several good answers. Guido, screws onto where speedo cable should be attached if you're running a no cable trans. That's a good answer. Bell. Matt, thanks for the hat, Barry. When do we get a video of you putting on that color? Soon. I will be posting a video tomorrow. And it's tough to film spraying paint. Well, paint's not so bad. Clear coat is really hard to film because it gets pretty thick in there. Even with both my fans running and blowing out, it gets pretty thick in there with clear coat. And so my concern would be that my camera would get all gummed up. So I don't even try. I did have my time lapse camera set up so that you could see what's going on. I did some regular close up of the, well, I say close up, but it was just spraying the color. And I'm working on editing that. So you're welcome, Nick. Crash Fighter screen, good now. Don't let Iron Man scuff up your parts. Good point. Kenya and Jessica Tukar, thanks, Randy. Hi, Lucy. Thanks. Okay, good. Anyway, so I'm going to be putting out that video tomorrow. I did have a couple of issues. Really, it was my own dumb fault. And I try to point things out when I can. If I make a mistake, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video or not. One issue that I had, because I had scuffed all these, I had sanded them with 400. I used a piece of DA paper because it's a mesh. It's really easy to manipulate. So I scuffed these down with 400. And then I went over them again with some 600, just because that's how I am. And then I went over them, everything with a gray Scotch-Brite, just in case there was something that I couldn't meet, couldn't get into with the paper. Just wanted to make sure everything was ready. So in doing so, and nobody really would notice it but me, because that's, how I am. But on the deck lid, you have the inner bracing that is, just kind of raised ribs within the inner shell. And what I failed to realize was that this color, it's not going to cover a different color. Let's say if you have gray and you have a spot that's black, it's not going to cover that. It's kind of a translucent kind of color. So anyway, I had scuffed through some primer that was kind of light on one of those ribs, and it left a little pattern of kind of dark spots. And I didn't realize it until I started spraying that this color is not going to cover that. So when you're doing stuff like this, pay attention to those type of things, because even those little details matter. Now, what I had done, there were a couple other areas that were more obvious that I sprayed with some self-etch. You can touch up, just cover it with self-etch. It's fine. And so those areas did not reveal any dark spots. But one of those internal bracing pieces just has a little pattern to it. So just make sure you're looking at those things. It's going to be more critical on the outside of the car. I'm not worried too much about the underside of the deck lid. If somebody's got their head up under there and looking for something, I'll point to it and say, if you're looking for a problem, there it is right there. See ya. But that's the only real issue I had. The other thing is this homemade stand that I used. I did some modifications to it, and I've shown the stand, or I've shown it in pictures. But the stand, I think I showed it last. Did I show it? I don't know if I showed it last week or not. So I made this stand out of a bar stool, and so I can pivot it around, and it has the rear valance on the one side and the front valance on the other side. And then I had a little space down below where I put the rock guard. So the only conflict I had, and this is pretty minor, on the rock guard, which of course is going to get covered, it has trim. The grill, base of the grill will cover this section. Look at that color. Okay. The grill surround goes over this area. Well, where I had his position, and I had that piece, a 2x4, which is a support piece for the main section. I did not get color all the way into this little space. It had primer. Again, this is going to be covered. It's not going to matter. But that's the only conflict I had with this was I could not get color in there very well. And I was not concerned with this upper portion being perfect. I mean, yeah, you want it nice, but I wanted to have the main, the visible area will be nice and smooth and shiny. This is a little dry as far as the clear coat goes. It's hard to show you. It's a little dry up in this area, but again, this will all be covered. Not a big deal. But on this stand, and I don't know how big this shows up on the screen, but what I did is I used this 1x6 to support this. And I actually put a block of wood because I have this cutout that I made. I put a block of wood behind it to make it stand away from the so this would be away from the board. So if you look here, there's a gap on both of these. Well, the challenge was to blow paint into that gap. So I got on the around the edge, which I did. But had I taken the board and trimmed this down a good bit, it would have made it a lot easier to get color on both of these panels. So that's, little things. That was kind of an experiment, and it worked. It worked. Let me see where we're at. Yeah, I didn't call you Lucy. Kenyon called you Lucy. So if you're talking about that, Mike, Aqua. I'm painting my Galaxy the same color. Yeah, it's Gulfstream Aqua. Gulfstream Aqua is the color. Lucky, not Lucy. Sorry about that. Yeah. Jessica, you're welcome. Keep the wire in the harness in case you were the next one to run a computer trans or ABS. There's a good point. Don't eliminate it. Let's see. Nick. Man, I sure do love the color. Kind of depressing me that I'm doing white. I feel I should stay the course, though. Did you see that Harbor Freight has a disposable paint cup system now? I did not. I'll have to check into that because the cups that I have several. I have enough to do several cars, but they add up pretty quick. So I'll have to check into what Harbor Freight is offering because I'm going to need more. Hi, Guido. Nick, I won't lie. They've been getting some cool new tools lately. Yes, they have. I can't argue that. Lucky, call me Lucy now. Okay. Randy, yes, I agree with Jessica on that. Don't cut it too short just in case there's a change of drivetrain. Yes. No, Lucky is and sounds real cool. Okay. Jessica, maybe he confused you for Lucky Luciano. Could be. Jorge is checking in. Glad you're here. Phil, I love that color just because the name Jade, I was expecting more of a green cast. Well, it's kind of hard to the only reason I went with Jade was because it's a shade of green. I mean, what else? It's kind of hard to and it's a female name, so it was kind of hard to come up with something. But Jade is kind of what I went with. Now, the color, and again, this on the camera, it looks more blue. It does look more blue. It actually is greener than that. Trust me. It's not that blue. What you're seeing in the camera is not what's here. So I wonder. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, see there it looks blue. That looks like a light version of the Acapulco blue, but it's not. Believe me, this is green. This camera is not registering the color very well. I don't know if I I tried this before. Let's see if it'll work. I think I took some pictures. I don't know if it'll do it. What's weird about it is the now even in this camera it looks blue, but it's got a green tint to it. Definitely has a green tint. Let's see, Jorge. The front valance looks great. Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Jessica, I like the blue. My mom's Mustang is this green gold mix that kind of make it look like it came out of a baby. It's a factory color, even a green gold mix. Okay. Let's see. Kenyon, my 5-year-old Sarah said, "Hi, everyone. Sorry she made me type this." That's okay. Nick, I almost picked up one of those widow guns and that paint cup system. I'm so scared to put all of this work in and pork the paint job. It's such a me thing to do. They had me intrigued, though. Well, I might have to look into those. Matt, it looks like a Mopar blue, like a Viper blue through the camera. Yeah, but it's not. It is definitely, and I don't know why. I mean, it's aqua, but it's green. It's aqua green. I don't understand it. Maybe it'll show up better with the other camera, the other footage that I shoot. Maybe it'll show up better. And maybe these LED lights, too. It could be affecting it. But it's hard to do otherwise. This is what we have. And Nick is saying hi to Sarah. So we all say hi to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. But I see the twitch. Is it gonna stay? Okay. So anyway, earlier today I was assessing how I'm going to do the painting of the car. I'm still going to paint the fenders and the doors on the car. And in the past, I have painted the hood and the deck lid all at the same time and put them in the booth. Well, I think the 68 Mustang, it's got to be, even though it may not be much, it's got to be longer overall than the 65 and 6 model. There's got to be some variance there that makes it a little bit longer. The problem with that, and it could be just the way the front nose, the fenders are shaped. The problem with that is in order to spray the car with the fenders on the car, which it's the only way I'm going to do it. I need to have enough room in the front so I can get around it, and spray. So if I get too close to the door, I can't spray. And then what I did, I actually laid them all out. I had the car in the back. I took the hood and the deck lid and I set them back there, tried to configure them so that there was enough space. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't lay it out in such a way that it's going to work. Now I could, I thought about maybe even angling the car in the booth so I gained something on the other corner, but I just can't do it. So I'm going to go off the rails a little bit from what I normally want to do. And I'm going to paint the hood and the deck lid separately. Now, the underside is not a big deal, but I'm also pretty happy with how the color did lay out, So I'm going to paint the hood and the deck lid by themselves and paint the car and the fenders, doors and all by themselves or by itself. I really hate to do that. But I have to. Now, what I could do, I don't even know. I could maybe do all the color and then pull the hood the deck lid back out of the booth, shoot the car with clear, and then shoot the clear on the rest of it the next day. Because you have 24 hours from base to clear. So I'm really debating on this because I wanted to have the hood and the deck lid at least in the vicinity so that everything's sprayed up right. Because I've seen differences, and it would really bother me. So I'm gonna have to think this through as best I can. What's going to be the best way to do this? Jorge, I think the color is off because of your lighting. Yep, very possible. But what's weird, the lighting, I mean, you would think the lighting would affect what I see, but it's only affecting what is on the camera. Because when I look at it, it's green. So, Euclid, best moment, taking old cooking oil, using it in the exact earthing moving machine in my picture. Okay, so you're recycling cooking oil. So when you're driving the big machine, it smells like French fries. I like it. Randy just sent a picture of the 74 Chevy 4x4 I did for my son that I told you about. Okay. Maybe I can pull that up. Let me go back to that real quick. That looks good. I'm only going to pull up certain number though. We'll see how it goes. Because I know and I've done this before. I have lost my stream. Too much overload. There it went. It went to Wi-Fi. I don't understand it. Now it's back. Now it's back. Let me get some coffee while I'm waiting. Okay, so I had 2 pictures. Let me get these other ones. And so here's the first pic he sent me. And that's pretty rough. I mean, as far as the bed goes, that's pretty rough. But look at this. Nice. That's quite the transition there. Going from that to that. And here's another backside shot. Man, that looks nice, Randy. I like that a lot. And those late model wheels look good on it too. Yep. Nice job. I give you a bell for that. Looks good. Let me see where we're at here. Jorge, try using other lighting, but not LED. Well, all I have in the shop is LED at the moment. Jessica, hey, take care, my guys. My feed is 6 minutes behind. My husband just woke up. Gotta go. All right, see you, Jessica. Karsten, hi, Barry. The Mustang is looking very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Steve, Footage Factory, checking in. Glad you're here. Nick, hey, do you know what the difference is in high transfer guns and high volume, low pressure? Sorry, I'm stuck on the paint gun subject. I probably can't go into a good definition on that. You can probably do a quick Google search and get a better answer than what I can give you. So, I mean, I've been using HVLPs, but I can't tell you about the high transfer. Euclid, it would be awesome watching you build something for the Tim Allen and Richard Karn and then them testing it. You know, I applied to the show. I did. I haven't heard anything back, but I did apply to the show. I think it would be great just to see if I could even get on it, you know, if they would accept me. But we'll see. They when I first filled out the application, it said, would you be available in June? I was, yeah, I'm available all the time. But no response yet. So I don't know if I don't meet what they're looking for, if they looked at my YouTube channel and said, oh, this guy just does car stuff. I don't know. We'll find out eventually, maybe. Nick, shoot, I'd love to do that show with him and Richard. It looks like so much fun. Yeah, it does. It does. Great job on the truck. Yes, truck looks fantastic. Very well done, Randy, from Greg. Karsten, what about take it out in the sun and see if you can get the color right? Well, I mean, I could, but I can't take the camera outside at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see how the video comes out that I'm going to post tomorrow. Troy, good to be on with everyone. I'm glad you're here. Randy, thanks. 3 months and 975 hours later, now on the 66 Stang, as I have a 62 Ranchero I just bought to redo 2 hobby security, I call it. LOL. Yeah, 975 hours. I can't tell you the last thing I spent 975 hours on. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent, but I can tell you it's a lot more than 975 for everything that I've worked on in here. But that's, that's how it goes. That's how I do things. So anyway, as I was talking about the paint process for the car, as I was looking things over and I was talking to Roger, my neighbor, racing buddy, about it, and I said, I think I'm going to have to do something with the quarters and the tail panel, because, the original color would have been down in those panels. The wheel houses would have had color on them. The inside of the quarters would have had some color. Unfortunately, somebody in the past has sprayed the floor pan, the trunk pan, with undercoating. I'm not taking that out. I'm not fighting with undercoating, especially on the inside of the car. I'm not worried about it. However, when I was looking at the panels, of course, the tail panel and the trunk pans, the quarter panels are new. Well, it's all the black ADP coating. That's not going to look right. So today I went into the booth. I cleaned up everything. I scuffed everything, wiped it all down good, and I just sprayed it with 2K. Just took one of my old guns, set the setting really low, and just gently coated the whole inside of the trunk. I must have a delivery. Somebody just showed up. Hold on. I just heard a door shut. Oh, well. I did order something and I wanted to share if I could, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get to the, I think they took it to the front of my house instead of the back. But I wanted to show something that I had ordered, and I don't know if it's actually, this is what I ordered or not, or something my wife ordered. But regardless, I ended up spraying the inside of the, tail panel, quarter panels, and then I'll go back and throw color in there. Now, I'm not too worried about clear coat. I just want to get color. If it gets clear coat on any of those areas, fine. I'm going to let that undercoating inside, around the gas tank. I'll probably end up putting a piece of carpet in there or something anyway. So I'm not going to get stressed out over that. But there's no way that I'm going to try to clean out all that stuff and, make it paint and shiny. Let's see. Steve decided to sell my Coyote engine and get a push rod for the 65 Mustang. Probably a good call. I don't blame you. Euclid, Detroit Diesel 8 B71, best thing engine from Postware. That's powers TS24 in the picture. And there's one in the front and in the back. That's quite the machine then. Nick, Steve, what motor? If you say LS, I'm going to thump you. No, he's going to get a push rod. He's probably going to get standard like 302, I would assume, because it bolts right in. Actually, don't care. Okay, Brian, looks great, Barry. Checking in again from North Idaho. I'm glad you're here. What I was going to talk about along with this, with the paint process. Well, let me back up just a second and talk about something. If you see my videos, most of my stuff, you're going to see me wearing safety gear, right? I put on earmuffs, safety glasses. You'll see me wear gloves. You see my hands, right? Hardly any dirt on my hands. There's a point to this. Growing up, my at the junkyard, anytime we had greasy parts, dirty parts, or whatever, and they needed to be cleaned up, my dad would just basically pour gas into a bucket, and it was either me or my brother would take bare hands, get in there and get gas all over us, rub these parts and clean them. We didn't have gloves back then. In the 70s, 80s, we didn't wear gloves. So anyway, we would our hands would be burning from gas. Anything your skin contacts, it absorbs one way or another. So again, there's point to this. But, all those years of doing that, my brother did it all his life. All his life. He never wore gloves, ever. And I've mentioned it. My brother passed away March 19th. He passed away from stage 4 small cell carcinoma. Stage 4 small cell carcinoma. Now, my brother was a smoker, along with whatever else he did, but he was a smoker. But from the little research my sister had done, stage 4 small cell carcinoma can be from smoking, and it can be from diesel fuel. It can be, oils, chemicals that your body absorbs. So because we were talking about that with that machine, with the diesel, with the fuel and stuff, I wanted to bring that up because I'm always trying to promote and push for safety on these things. So, in fact, at my brother's viewing, there was a picture of his hand, and it had deep grooves and cuts in it where it was just packed with oil and grease. That's what he did. That's all he ever did. He never strayed away from the concept of, using raw chemicals and stuff like that. But part 2 of this is when you're spraying paint, right? Not only do I wear a respirator, which I wanted to show, I just got or ordered a full face respirator because I do have that little 3M deal that I use all the time. I ordered a full face respirator because I wanted to keep everything off of the rest of my face. But along with that, I also had bought just a cheap Tyvek one of these paint suit things. Sorry, I'm tripping over everything in my shop. One of these, Tyvek paint suits. Because whenever you're spraying, it's one thing to spray base color. That's probably not as dangerous. But clear coat, let me tell you, clear coat will get all over you. I mean, all over you. So if you're doing this stuff, if you're looking to do some paint or something, get the equipment, get a good respirator, if you need to, get a full face mask. They even sell ones that have their own built-in electric filtration system, which we used to use at the body shop. But get a Tyvek suit. They're cheap. I think this probably wasn't even $10. I don't even know what it was. I bought it from Home Depot or Lowe's. So you get one of those, get the gloves, wear the gear to keep this stuff off of you. And that was what my point was getting to. Whenever you're, spraying this stuff or anything, try to keep it out of you because you never know. You never know that you might be absorbing stuff that one day comes back and haunts you. And that's a fear that I have to live with, because I did the same kind of stuff my brother did with gas and oil and everything else. But I got away from that, when I was still quite young. But he kept doing it over and over and over. And that may have been exactly what took him down. And maybe it may have been exactly what did it, the combination of things. But anyway, not to stray too far off the path, but safety. John, Barry the Color is awesome. Thank you. Steve, I'm going to let I'm going to get an LS and name it Nick. Then I'm going to run it into the ground. Maybe then I'll stop judging. Yes, 302 or 351 block. Okay. Nick, not if it's named Nick. The train don't stop. Dave, agreed. Color looks really good. Yep. It's going to look even better when it's all painted. The whole thing. The whole thing. John, sorry for your loss. Thank you. Nick, why'd you change your mind about the Coyote? I think he's going to have to ship this car pretty soon. So he wants to have it together, I believe is probably what he's leaning towards. Brian, when I paint my garage, I duct tape all the door gaps leading into the house also. Okay, yeah. Well, I get that, especially if you're painting in your house garage. Yeah, good call. Randy, it's important to wear the gloves, especially with body work too, because these oils in your hands will eventually lift the paint when finished. I've had it happen and it's just a redo waiting to happen. That is a good point as well. The body oils will transfer and that'll cause problems. And I kind of got sketchy there for a second. Started slowing down. Randy, plus you can feel the surface better. Yeah. I guess that does make sense. I mean, for me, I can feel better with my bare hands, but the gloves, I understand that. Matt, I learned from school that the carcinogens in spraying paint can even be absorbed through your hair. It is really nothing to mess around with. You, sir, at a Bellberry. Thank you. I mean, I'm telling you, I know that I've sprayed other things. I think I've had on like long sleeve shirts or probably nothing on my head and just sprayed and didn't really think about it. But when I was at Lowe's the other day and I saw that Tyvek suit and it's got the hood and everything, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So, and it may be a hassle, but it's worth it. It's kind of like when you're losing your hearing. You don't get that back unless hearing aids, stuff like that, but you don't get hearing back. You typically don't get vision back. You're not going to grow back an eye if it gets injured. Something happens to it, chunk of metal gets in it or something. You're not going to grow that back. So, Steve, there are no spare Coyote parts where it's being shipped to. Good point. Good point. Jorge, thank you for pushing safety. Yes. Well, it's even more, like I said, more concerning for me now. My brother was 6 years older than me. Now, again, he was already probably behind the 8 ball, so to speak, because of how he lived. Now I've been around the aircraft industry for the last 30 years. What did we do in the aircraft industry? Well, we would grind out corrosion with, grinding discs inside the belly of it. Might be in there grinding corrosion or grinding some exotic metals or whatever. And most of the time we weren't told to wear any kind of like safety gear other than hearing protection or safety glasses. We weren't really said, hey, you wear a respirator because you're going to inhale something that'll kill you someday. We weren't really told that. And there's a lot of people in the airline industry that have been exposed to all kinds of chemicals. You talk about automotive stuff. That's nothing compared to the aircraft industry. There are some scary chemicals out there. So, but yeah, you can easily get caught up and get, you're like, oh, it takes me another 2 minutes to put on this and do that. Okay. Take the 2 minutes and do it. That's all I can, just do it. Brian, through the hair, well, both Barry and I have nothing to worry about. Yeah. Not at this point. John Van Horn, I have a buddy that owns a high-end body shop that almost killed him for wearing a respirator not wearing a respirator doing a small job. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, I do a lot of grinding and sanding and stuff where I typically, I mean, I used to not wear any kind of mask. I might have a fan blowing, to push it away from me. My 90 grinder also has um, the vents out the top, so kind of I could take my hand and use that to blow it away. But man, it's anymore. I'm probably going to be masked up for just about everything. Now it may even affect how I make my videos because I just talk. I just, hey, here's what I'm doing, whatever. I have to be more like Steve voiceovers. Maybe. Steve, when I was an aircraft mechanic, specialized in hydraulics, never wore gloves. Ooh, yeah, that's good. You play with Skydrone? It's no fun. You get it in the eyes. Do not do that. Trust me. I'm sure. Let me see. Now it's back to Wi-Fi again. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing this because the Wi-Fi is not even an option. I don't know where it's trying to get this. Okay, now it's back. See, it's goofy. It goes away and then it comes back. Okay. Richard, always wear safety stuff when spraying cars. I've seen people spray on without respirators or Tyvek suits. Let me tell you. Um, there was a video that I found years ago, or from years and years ago, and it was a car that we painted here at the house. The first car that we had painted together, me and my buddy. His dad, who used to do paint and body work, came to visit and painted the car in my garage, my house garage. In fact, the floor on my house garage is still blue from that process when we did that. His dad didn't wear anything. Nothing. No respirator. Nothing. And we were in there, me and my buddy, we both had on 3M respirators while we were, doing this. His dad was in there just spraying away, and I'll say he was drinking some alcohol while he was doing it. It was so bad and so thick in there that my buddy's respirator clogged up. He couldn't breathe. I had to swap out a filter for him so that he could breathe. That's how thick that it was in my house garage. But his dad just, sprayed away. Crazy. Jerry, which full mask did you order? Well, I wanted to. It's a name. It starts with a K. I think it's Keich, something like that. I'm going to try it out and see how well it works. But I'm hoping it showed up. It's either going to show up today or tomorrow. And I may do a video on it. I don't know yet. John, 3M compound is deadly also. You talking like buffing compound? Okay. I'll take your word for it. Carson, I drive a truck. When you get to a workshop, it is nice to see the young mechanics all take safety seriously. Yeah, that is nice. When I was working for the airline late in my career, they pushed safety hard. I mean, it used to be back 15 years ago, safety glasses weren't, it was an option. Hearing protection, it was an option. And as time went on, they realized that they had a lot of people losing hearing and, having eye vision, problems with the safety glasses. So then it just became mandatory. We had to wear safety glasses all the time. And we did, but anything I did, is either gloves, hearing protection, always. Okay, so we got. Okay. Steve, no SkyDraw on C5, but they have SkyDraw on KC10. I worked on C5s. Yes, Barry, voiceover. I'll teach you. I mean, I can do it. I've got a microphone, so I could probably get away with it. I think I did a voiceover when I did on my workshop channel. I did a how to edit video, and I think I did a voiceover while I was making that happen. So, okay, so it's all good now. Good. Greg says I sound like a robot. Brian, you can thank net neutrality for some of this issue. Yeah, could be. Danny Alvey, Barry, this caused me to have the auto body industry caused me to leave the auto body industry in the 80s. I would looked around and there were no old body men or they were in poor health. Yeah. I only know one guy who is an old body man. I mean, he's still doing stuff in his home garage, and he worked for us at the body shop. He actually had his own shop for a long time and then sold it and then came to work for us. But he's still kicking, but he's in his probably early 70s at this point. Richard, I worked in a body shop many years ago, and the guy that owned the shop used to spray them without anything on. Yeah. I can't believe that. I mean, it's crazy. I know I couldn't. It's like when I spray clear coat in the back, it's just a hazy cloud in there. I mean, I've got two fans pulling air out or pushing air out, but it's crazy. I don't know how people can. Well, I know how they do it, but it's not worth it. Jerry, I have to look at it. Let me see if since I brought it up. Let me see if I can find what it was. It's KISCHERS. KISCHERS. So let me see if that's. And I just picked it out because it was reasonably priced and had good reviews on it. Let me see if it's. Oh. Well, it's here. It's here. So if you give me like a minute, I can go run to the front porch and get this thing. Yes? No? Can you stay occupied for a minute? Yeah? I'm going to go check it out. All right. Keep talking. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, was that less than a minute? Because now my legs are tired. I haven't run in months. I haven't done any running in months. I was running 2 to 3 times a week. I haven't run in months. Okay. But here it is. Kishers. That's what it was. So, if I read this correctly, and I may have to actually do a regular video on this, just because. But since you're all here, it's got 2 filters. Jingzhou. Manufacturer. Jingzhou. Jingzhou. Okay. Must be good then. Ooh. Now it looks like it's got a tear off type of sheet on it that you could. I think we had those in our shop. We actually had tear offs that you could put on these things. I wanted to see. That was one of my concerns. Whether you could remove these, they're round canisters, and put on like 3M style, because it looks like this just presses in there and locks in, but that's got to come off surely. I would hope it does. Looks like there's a little catch tab. So I might have to play with this. But it looks like I could probably, it's got like little lock tabs that hold it on. Looks like I could probably press those down and take this off. And I'm really hoping it'll take a 3M style of filter. And then it has this 5-part web on the back, some sort of alien looking thing. So that might be interesting. I'm kind of curious. I ordered a large. I hope it's a large, because I have a big head. Can you hear me? It actually felt pretty good as far as fit. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get those. Okay, so now you know, this is what I ordered. And hopefully it'll do what I need it to do. I'll have to play with that more later. And the only reason I bought, well, that one, when I was at the paint store, my PPG rep, he said that I looked at a 3M brand, mask. And I said, how much is this? He said, oh, about $200. I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I looked at, I went online and I saw that 3M had some for like $130, something like that. I was like, man, it still feels really high. So then this one popped up and a few others like it. And I think it was like $77 or something. I thought, well, we'll see what happens. I'll take a chance on it. All right. So let's see. Dave Britton, I made a mistake of forgetting my respirator doing a Reno tear out and have had lung issues ever since. Damage done was stupid. Yes. Yeah, there's no recovery from inhaling some of this stuff. Barry, I test on my mask and set it up 2 weeks. Okay. Every 2 weeks, I guess? Is that what you're saying, Greg? Roger, early in the aviation career in the 90s, we used MEK to clean sealant off our skin. Stupid, but we didn't know any better. Fortunately, latex gloves became readily available for me in the early 2000s. Yeah, it's funny when you say, I know this is not the Roger Martin that I know, because I know a Roger Martin that I worked with in the aircraft industry. But I'm pretty sure I sent you something in the mail, and it was not the Roger Martin that I know. But yes, we used to use MEK. I mean, it cleans you up. It'll clean, but not good. Let's see. Jorge, I do not know any old body man. Yeah, Well, I'm hoping I end up being an old body man. Brian, I'm building a mock Boss 302 for my factory, Windsor. Do anyone have any experience doing this? Any input would be greatly appreciated. A mock, I guess you're like a MACH, like a Mach 1 Boss 302. I don't have any input. Sorry. Danny says, Brian, I have a real Boss 302. Hey, Barry, will glasses fit behind those? You know, I'm going to say no. I don't think this is designed for people with glasses. I was checking into that as well, just in case, but I don't think, it's pretty tight in there. It's pretty tight. So I'm going to say no. Crash Rider, watch what you're calling old, early 70s. Hey, well, what is old? I don't know. When does old start? It may come off, but don't call me Shirley. Okay. Randy, looks like the same mask I have. I was able to get canisters off and use 3M filters. I'm pretty sure it's same. Looks like it. I like it personally. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's got some sort of little lock tabs, almost like a push clip. When you plug something in, a connector, and you've got a lock tab, you can get out of the way so it pulls off. I think that's all they've done on this is add that. Now, what I would like to do, if I can, is see if they make tear-offs so you can protect the actual face. So that's something else I'll probably have to look into. Nick, is it just me or are the straps incredibly long on that? My word, the dome that would utilize all of that. I put it on and there's just a half inch of strap left. I don't know, man. I mean, it's adjustable. It's adjustable. So, but anyway, maybe I'll do, I don't know, maybe I'll do some sort of a product review. Maybe I'll put that on the other channel because I need content from my workshop channel. So maybe that's a good point. I could put it over there. Maybe. I don't know. Steve, old. There are groups of people that would say we are all old car guys, but I'll embrace it. Well, again, I don't know when does old start? I can tell you this. I'm 53 for another about a month. I think 53 is where things start falling apart. At least if you did kind of stuff like I did in the military, hardcore infantry stuff. Things that I did then are now catching up to me in my 50s. Now, other people have had problems way ahead of that in their 40s and 30s. But I can tell you that, I'm now learning that the things that I did in the military are coming back to haunt me. So let's see, Nick, I think old starts in your 30s, but you just slowly grow out of denial. My knees click like a card in a kid's bike wheel. Well, I will say for the most part, those, I mean, I make a lot of noise when I get up off a chair or something. My ankles sound like Rice Krispies. They're not good, and then various other cracks and pops. Jerry, for a tear off, you might be able to use the clear carpet protection film. That might work. Good point. Roger, I'm pretty sure we never worked together. I've never worked east of Mississippi and work at the other airline. Yeah, I know we didn't work together. The Roger I know is a welder. And he's still working there. Karsten, I finally have got my son 1967 Buick out of my garage. It's out for paint, so the end is near. That's a good sign. Brian, Barry, could you connect me and Denny Alvey through email? I can. What both of you Denny and Brian, wherever you are, send me an email, and then I'll send you connect you both. So start with that. Brian, Denny, send me an email. Rick, old is not defined with a number. That is true. That is true. Footage, I'm not even 40. I feel old, man. Yeah, well, you still have hair, though. So you have that. You have that. Karsten, I am 59. It was after 50, it starts to get downhill. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I was doing Spartan races, running 3 times a week, lifting weights, all that stuff. And when COVID hit, that all kind of dropped away because I couldn't go to the gym. I could still run, but then I started having some other problems. And I was like, you know what? We'll see how this goes if I don't do anything. I know I put some weight back on, but let's see. Ben, buying you a coffee for the Durham Hard Rock tip. Incredible stuff. Show you my project when finished, but unfortunately it's not a car. I remember that. That is good stuff, man. Thank you. Thank you for the coffee tip. Yeah, that Durham, I was amazed when I mixed that stuff up and packed it into some old, damaged wood. Hard as a rock. It made it solid as could be. Nick, hey, did you know Jody? I think his last name Collier or something. He has that welding tip. Oh yeah, Jody. Yeah. I do know Jody. He was in my department. Welding tips and tricks. Yeah, he was the welding instructor out there. And he left and started doing those YouTube videos, and how he has a tremendous following. He's making a lot more money doing welding videos than he was working when he was working at Delta. So I do know Jody. Yep. We used to talk. He left and never really stayed in touch, but yep. So I do know him. So there's a bell for that. Okay. So Brian, Denny has shared his email. So there you go. There's a shortcut. Instead of sending me an email, we now have you have his email. Let me know if you got it, and we'll go from there. Nick, dude, that's so awesome. He's a beast of a welder for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you want something welded nice and right, Jody's the way to go. I mean, I've looked at some of his videos and stuff, and he's very much. He even says it in his opener. No music, no special effects. I'm just going to show you how to weld. That's all he does, and he does really good at it. Here's something else that I don't know what happened. I'll just bring this up. I don't know what has happened. Sorry, my nose is itchy. I did that jumpstart video for the Hawkman jump starter. I guess you maybe have seen it. I don't know. But I did that video for them. And I mean, I liked it. It works fine. I'm going to, probably use it. But since that time, since I did that one video, I probably have gotten 5 or 6 requests to do similar videos. Now, one of those, and I'm going to bring this up because maybe somebody can give me some advice here. That I have that plasma cutter, that old plasma cutter. I mean, it worked great. Nothing wrong with it. That I got from Harbor Freight. Have that plasma cutter. I had a company. They're called One Welder. I think is their name. One Welder. I think is what the company is. They sent me a opportunity request. Let me see if it's here. Or Yes Welder. Yeah, anybody ever heard of Yes Welder? Anyone? Let me know. Yes Welder has sent me this. They want me to review a plasma cutter. And I said, what does that mean? What do you want me to do? It says, we would love to support you and send our plasma cutter to try it out and review. So they're talking about just sending me a plasma cutter. Send it to you to try it out, full promotion of your content, and then some sort of a commission. Like if someone were to buy one of these using my link or something, I would get a commission out of that. So obviously they want me to promote their product. So has anybody heard of Yes Welder? Anyone? Bueller? But anyway, so I even said to them, so I would need to try it out and promote it if I like it. What if I don't like it? Because I'm pretty honest about what I'm doing. What if I don't like it? And they said, just kindly provide us your honest review on it. So what do you think? Is that a good idea? Good idea or not? I don't know. Nick, I've heard of them. That's about all, though. They pop in my suggestions on Facebook. They're obviously campaigning hard. Well, I mean, ideally, a free plasma cutter might be worth it. I don't know. Might be worth it. Let's see. Dale. They pop up on my Insta feed all the time. Yeah, they're on my Insta. That's where they hit me up on Instagram. Rick, I'm in the market for a plasma cutter. I was looking in one from Hobart that runs on 110 and has a built-in air compressor. Well, that would be nice. You've heard of them. Okay. Yeah, Insta 2. Yeah. And Roger's saying, why not? Well, that may be what I end up, looking at. Along with that, I keep getting emails now. So obviously they're connected somehow with these other, like I have one from Andobill. They're telling me to do a car phone holder and a charger, a holder mount. I'm like, what? This other one says, let's see. They're trying to get me connected with other people that want to promote things. There's been like 3 or 4 that have popped up. And this one I just got from somebody called Flexi Mounts, a company dedicated to providing extremely strong, solid, and durable lifelong storage products. We would like you to try out our overhead garage storage lift. I mean, I don't know what I'm just clicking on their link that they just sent me just to see what it says. Oh, yeah. It's one of those hoist things. It's got a crank on it where you push stuff on a platform and raise it up off the floor. I don't know if I'm interested in that. But anyway, I've been getting a bunch of these now. Randy, heard of them? That's it. It would be a good free cutter, and if they ask for an honest review. So a bad review, that's on them. That's true. Rick, very good idea. Doing a promotional review would be good, and it's a sign that you're being recognized by vendors. Well, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Jerry, they have a good-looking website. I would get a good definition of what they want you to review specifically. Well, it says plasma cutter. So, Rick, plus you get a free plasma cutter out of the deal. Can't go wrong, what really, not that I would probably do this, but there have been people that have done stuff like that and said, and I'm going to give it away, at the end of this video, whatever. I don't know. I can't say that I would do that for sure because the plasma cutter is pretty nice to have. Steve, I'd be too biased seeing how everyone gave my channel give my channel time. For instance, Joe Daddy stickers are the best in the world, especially since you were kind enough to send it, if that makes sense. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. It is the best sticker, but I get that. But the thing is, and I've told them, I try to tell people, if you want me to review your stuff, be prepared. Be prepared. Nick, well, if you like it and use it, your review, it may be beneficial for publicizing your own channel through them. They're definitely reaching out. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Ben, when somebody puts their product out there like that, they must be confident in its performance. No, that's a good point. Yeah, those are good points. I didn't really think of it that way. Rick, after all, your plasma cutter is your favorite tool. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I could use it on, cutting up a Mustang. Maybe. Maybe. Yes, Walter has a nice website. Just looked and you're a great presenter. Sounds like something to give it a try. Okay. Well, I may have to do that. Matt, if you do a review on setting that expensive, are they going to $10.99 you for the value of your product? I wouldn't doubt it. That's a good question. But I think there's a way. It's kind of like when people make a donation, right? When people make a donation, maybe they're making a donation to my channel. In return, you get a donation, gets you something. In this case, it would be my time and my review. Other cases, it's like a hat. Just saying. Okay. I mean, with the input I've gotten from y'all, I think I may just tell them, send it. But it says just kindly provide us your honest review on it, and they gave me a little smiley face. Rick says, perhaps when you do the fastback conversion. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, well, maybe I'll have to communicate with him a little more and see if there's any like special requirements that I have to do prior to, but it's a win-win for them. I mean, I guess, I show the product, and if it does what it's supposed to do, then they get that, thumbs up, says, hey, it works. That's about all I can say. Crash Auto, if you get the product for free with no strings attached, it would be a very good opportunity. Yeah. Well, I had another company reach out to me recently through a connection of a friend, and it was a welding company. Just put it that way. Just a welding company had contacted me about the possibility of providing me with a welder to use, but they didn't say anything about a plasma cutter. So I don't know. Steve, Barry, do the fastback conversion. Yeah, I know. Nick, hi. Barry's dressed up in the Yes Welder swag. Next live stream has a big final sticker on Jade. If they throw enough money at me, they'd have to throw a lot of money at me. But okay. Well, usually this live stream on Thursday, I go for an hour. I've gone an hour and 24 minutes. That's probably long enough. I will send them another message and see what the requirements are, but from the messaging that I sent them, I said, look, what if I don't like it? I said it directly. So I need to try it out and promote it. If I like it, what if I don't like it? That was my direct question. And they said, just kindly provide us your honest review on it. So we'll see what happens. March Indy, late to the party here. They do make glasses fit behind a 3M face shield. Don't know if it would fit yours or not. 3M spectacle kit for 6000 series masks. So there's some good information. I think what I'll probably end up doing, if I try out this mask and I'm happy with it, I'll put it on my Amazon products page, list it, and see how that goes. So hopefully I can do a good, it does what I need it to do. All right. We'll see you, Greg. Glad you were here. Yeah, I'm going to call it a day. Let's see. Yep. Okay. I have some more stuff to do. I still got to wet sand the car. I'm going to wet sand the fenders, get all that prepped up. And then, like I said, what I know I'm going to have, I hate to even say it. I'm going to have to paint the hood and the fender, or the hood and the deck lid, separately from the car. I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to do it. Hope everything works out. But anyway, thank you all for being here and the input and comments and all that fun stuff. And we'll do this again on Monday night at 7. Steve says, Barry, do the plasma review. It only blows your channel up in the end. Yeah, that's a good call. Okay, so I'll be back on Monday. And I hope everybody has a good weekend. Stay safe. Wear your protective gear, keep doing good things in this world. And until then, take care of yourselves. See ya.